Hi everyone, I'm Josh and welcome to Josh Wright Piano TV. Today I wanted to talk about fractional pedaling, meaning a lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, just do half pedals here or quarter pedals. First of all, what does that mean? And second of all, I wanted to share a few tips about how to achieve that. Okay, the first thing is I wanted to talk about where to place the pedal on your foot. I like to place it right here. Hopefully these socks don't have holes in them. So I like to put it right there. Do not pedal on your toes. A lot of times students will pedal on their toes. The reason that doesn't work is your toes have a bunch of joints in them, and then it's really hard to control the up and down motion of the pedal. Also, you can kind of get noisy pedals. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on these mics, but especially if you're just like pedaling with your big toe. Your big toe is kind of bending, and then if you put it back further, you can do really quick. These are just little tiny pedals that I'm doing. I remember first seeing this just by observing Sergei Babayan. He put his foot up higher on the pedal like that, and he was able to do these really quick pedals. And he himself even said when he played with Marta Argerich, he's like, she was always doing something with her pedal. I could feel her leg against mine. He was playing primo, she was playing secondo, and he said, I could always hear her manipulating the pedal somehow. You might wonder, isn't pedal just up and down? Well, you can get really nice effects in music by doing half pedals or quarter pedals. And let's just clear the air here. There is no such thing as a half pedal. What they're getting, or a quarter pedal, what they're getting at is the area where the dampers just start to engage with the strings. Let me show you. So here's full pedal. Okay, those are just nice, smooth pedal changes. Now, if I go and I release it, right there, you can hear that little. That's not a good thing. Right there, you can see it's not fully engaged, but it's also not staccato. It's. You want to memorize, kind of by feel, obviously, how far down your foot has to go to do that. The reason that is so helpful, it allows you to do really quick pedal changes, or to do flutter pedals. A flutter pedal you can see in like Ravel's Ondine, and I'm not very good at flutter pedals, by the way. I have a different way of doing this. I'll explain in a second. Let's see. See how I just gradually cleared that out? It wasn't sudden like that, but it also wasn't just mud. It's not just holding, it's very gradually clearing out. So you can either do the flutter pedal right around that point where the dampers start to engage with the strings or disengage with the strings and just clear it there. That's what we call a half pedal, basically hovering around that and just pedaling that tiny distance rather than full up and down. And by the way, you never really need to go full down on a pedal and stomp on it because you just have to go down to the point where the dampers disengage with the strings. Now, I always like to go a little further than just that point just to be safe. But having said that, you can see how what I end up doing in this Ondine passage is I will gradually lift that pedal, listening very carefully and being very careful with my foot. And I just very gradually get to the point where they're almost engaging with the strings. Then I go back down and then up, down, maybe like 3 or 4 times. And it works really well. So. And you end up clearing it. I could even do it a little more gradual than that. That wasn't too gradual. And I can almost, to be completely honest, I can almost just lift it to that point where it hovers and it almost clears itself. I never want to lift to the point where I'm dry, but see, it just lifted off, very rounded. It's never jerky. And I never want that pedal noise. Very annoying when you're, especially if you're playing something as beautiful as Ondine. So just kind of getting it to that point and then just up and down, pulsing a little bit. Ravel writes 15 pedals here or something. I don't think you need an exact number. It's just getting it so it just feathers the sound out gradually. So getting to that point, that's what we would refer to as fractional pedaling. It's not like a clearing and then up and then back down. It's just getting to that point where the dampers, which are the little pieces of felt that sit on the strings that make them quiet, are just barely touching the strings, and that's when you... And I can have it drier. Okay, this is no pedal. Okay, this is with tiny bit of pedal. See, it's a little more resonant. A little bit longer, and then a tiny bit more. Fully engaged. So it's just, I'm talking like probably millimeters here of difference, but you do that by listening carefully. You might think, oh gosh, I gotta put it down 0.375 inches, or you're not calculating those types of distances in your mind. You're doing it by listening to the sound. This also is very helpful if you have like a lot of dissonant chords. Chords that would be dissonant with each other is what I'm saying. So change. And you want to change on each of those versus, or don't want either of those. You just want to quickly change. So hovering around that point and just doing that much motion rather than that much motion makes the world of difference. So I know I didn't give a million examples. It was mostly that flutter pedal example because that really demonstrates it beautifully. But anytime you have a passage where you have to make really quick changes, or where you're wanting to kind of mess around with the pedal, actually, I can give a quick example of the Liebeslied, which I'm working on for you guys. You guys wanted a tutorial on this, so I'm going to play it on a concert this summer. But I don't want, but I don't want it there. That way you can kind of bring out your inner lines and change your pedal very, very carefully every time you're voicing something in there. So you could see that it wasn't just like short or long. There's just little bits. And you can do a lot of that in your hands too. I am doing a lot of that in my hands, lifting things a little bit more gradually. But I hope that helps to kind of expose you to this world of fractional pedaling and figure out and I don't even know if fractional pedaling is the correct term for it. I don't think there is such a thing as a half versus a quarter pedal. Basically, you would just go different. That might be a half pedal. That might be a quarter pedal. And so when they're saying quarter pedals, they barely want any changes at all. If they're saying half pedals, a little bit of change. Full pedals, full changes. That's basically what teachers are trying to get at when they're making these terms up. But it all has to do with your individual piano, where the dampers start to engage with the strings. And different pianos have different pedal depths. Some pianos you have to push the pedal down quite a bit in order to get those dampers to disengage with those strings. And then other pianos, like this piano, I barely have to push it at all. And I'm already getting into that fractional pedal. So I hope that helps. If any of you have any questions, my email's josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Try to answer as many of those as I can. Please forgive me if I'm unable to answer all of them. If you wouldn't mind subscribing and sharing or liking this video, that really helps the channel to grow. I'm very grateful for that. I'll leave a few links in the description below. One of them is for a free webinar containing 10 of my favorite tips to help take your playing to a higher level. These are tips that I still use every single day, so I hope they can really help you in your studies. They've really helped me, and both in my playing and my teaching. I'll leave a couple of links for my paid courses if you want to go even deeper than this channel goes over. And finally, a link for all this gear that I use to film these videos, as well as some links for piano benches. I have some discounts on these hydraulic benches that are really quite nice, that just go up and down so easily, so you're not having to crank it every time you want to make an adjustment. And a lot of other fun stuff like theory books, CD recommendations, so that will be in the description below as well. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.